Happy Thanksgiving. I'm gonna keep it really brief because it's like 11, 12. I need to get this out. But respect is an interesting thing, right? Respect is something that when I was really young, I thought was abused by a lot of people. I thought it was like, oh, respect your older brothers, but then that's not fair because they did something wrong, or respect the teacher who's annoying, blah blah blah. And then like I had that philosophy like, oh, if they don't respect you first, don't respect them or something like that. And as I've grown older, I think for two reasons that philosophy has completely changed. I think respect is something siloed from your emotions, even the context, I dare say, because respect is something that's integral to a relationship, right? Whether it's a relationship in a familiar situation or in a organizational situation. For example, I have the blessing of being a younger and older brother, so I get both perspectives of this whole respect thing. And sometimes there's things my older brothers do, where I'm like, I don't respect this person. But it's like, even though that's the case, you still have to. Like, there's certain things you're not meant to say. And when you do say those things, regardless of the situation, you acknowledge that that's not something I'm allowed to say. That's not something I can say. Same thing with like a younger brother or a younger sister, where it's like, okay, hey, we can have our disagreements, but there's certain things you just can't do, right? With leadership, it's more so not even a matter of disagreements, and the emotional argument, childish sense, but more so like different philosophies or ideas. Like maybe if I'm not the president in an organization, I might have an idea that I think will be a game changer for the organization. However, the leader of that organization may disagree. See, no matter what I think about that idea, it's not up to me to say I'm gonna go behind my leader's back and then go do it, because that's a clear possibility, right? There's many ways to do that, but that's a clear sign of disrespect because you don't put the trust in the organization and in the leader itself. Because when you have a leader of an organization, they're not just a person, but they're rather the foundation idea of that organization. So if you don't put your trust into the foundation, then why should someone trust you to do your duties, right? Why should someone just go behind your back? And once you have that whole, like, I don't even know the word for it, like, I don't think it's back snatching, but like, once you have that whole, when you have a situation where no one can trust one another in an organization, a family, the whole thing crumbles apart, right? I can go into specifics, but I think that's something where I've really tried to practice that thing. And a lot of times, especially as someone who considers myself really ambitious, it's like, oh, dang, I have a disagreement with leader A or brother A, and I really want to do this thing. But I really just have to say, that's not something I can do, right? I can think about it, I can get their perspective, I can try to change their mind. But as a person, I have to stick to respecting the authority in that situation. And there is obviously outliers when respect is not the core thing in that situation, to be fair. But however, I think when I'm talking about this now, it's like I'm talking about the main situations where you can try and practice respect, even when it's hard. I think a lot of times, if I'm being honest, like at first, if you're a really respectful person, it's going to be hard. But after a while, it's more so just like, yeah, it's like I don't say you become apathetic, but it's more so it's like you kind of have the rhythm to the thing, right? And what I dislike is that sometimes when I say something, I feel like a hypocrite, because like I know in the future that it's very likely I'm going to like be disrespectful, right? A lot of times I can be in the spirit of the moment, but I do think it's something I'm hoping to practice more, because I think it's really important. I think it's really integral to any healthy relationship, both family, both organizational, just any situation where there's more than two or more people, right? I think it's cool. I think it's something that more people should look into. I don't subscribe to the philosophy of if they respect you, if I respect them if they respect me first or something like that. I think that's a very tricky road to go under. But I also do understand why people feel that way. I'm something I'm still looking into. So I also respect that opinion in itself. Oh no, besides that, I have nothing else to say, so have a great day.